Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Passport 2. Why are so many Americans suddenly moving to Germany right now? Well, I was not aware of that, and I'm an American. I'm not planning on moving to Germany anytime soon, and not nobody I know is planning to move to Germany anytime soon. But well, let's see what he has to say. Why are so many Americans suddenly moving to Germany right now? Now, I could understand why you want to move to Germany. I've been to Germany. It's a nice place. It's a great country. It's a great country to visit. And there's a whole hell of a lot more I'd like to see. But let's see what they have to say. Please click like, share, and subscribe for Passport 2. And please click like, share, and subscribe for me as well.
Guys, every time I go onto YouTube, on my YouTube homepage, it seems like there's a new YouTube channel of Americans moving to Germany and having a YouTube channel about it. We're taking over.
Yeah, there are quite a few Americans giving their perspectives of what's like living in Germany, and Passport 2 is no exception. I've done a couple of other ones.
Guys, us Americans in Germany will take it over. Sorry to tell you.
No, we're not taking over a damn thing. We're not taking over Germany anytime soon.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. If you don't...
And there is true, there's a lot of people that are doing that right now, and or a lot of Americans that are doing YouTube videos. And again, it's fascinating for me from this perspective. Is like I said, I'm someone who's been to Germany before and really enjoyed the 8 or 9 days that I was there. Getting a different perspective of people who live there, and from the United States. Now, he's from Oklahoma, I'm from Ohio. Those are two different areas of our country, but and finding out new things. I love finding out about different cultures.
Don't know that YouTube channel from the intro, that is Nauf, an American playing professional American football in Germany. In one of his videos last May, he mentioned something that I also have been noticing for a while, and that is an increasing number of Americans in Germany YouTube channels. Nearly every day that I get on YouTube, YouTube recommends me 1 or 2 new channels to watch that are Americans that have moved to Germany for some reason or another and are sharing their experiences with the world. And real quick, I actually want you guys to tell me in the comments who some of your favorite channels are in this category. So with all of these new channels popping up on my YouTube
I'll tell you, my favorite channel recently has been Passport 2. That's easy to say.
feed, it made me ask a few questions. 1, is Americans coming to Germany actually a real growing trend? 2, are Americans looking at actually immigrating to Germany? And 3, why are so many Americans and some Canadians moving to Germany? Okay, let's tackle my first question. Are there really growing numbers of Americans flocking to Germany? Or does the fact that I watch so many of them that YouTube recommends me every one of them and...
That's a real good question. I don't think there's a whole lot of people flocking to Germany, but I could be wrong on that. I'm curious to see what it is. I'm sure there's also people going the other way, because there's a Feely from Germany, from Munich. She comes on and she lives down in Cincinnati, and she's a German coming to the United States and talking about the experience from the opposite perspective.
Therefore, I perceive it as if there are growing numbers of Americans coming here. I found an article by The Culture Trip from 2017 titled, "Why U.S. Citizens Are Flocking to Germany." That seemed to support the idea that Americans really are moving to Germany at high rates, and in this article they wrote, "Recently, there has been an unprecedented rise in the number of U.S. citizens moving to Germany. However, they then wrote that statistics show that as many as 1,086 Americans received German citizenship in the year 20."
Now, if I moved to Germany for whatever reason, I wouldn't have a problem moving to Germany, but I don't think I would ever get German citizenship. I would not renounce my American citizenship just if I could move to Germany.
2016. And so far in 2017, Germany has received a never-before-seen number of applications for German citizenship from Americans. So of course, now that we are living in the future, I was able to check the data and see if truly an unprecedented number of Americans really did end up becoming German citizens in 2017. And, well, actually, the number of Americans who became citizens of Germany went down in 2017 from the previous year. So I dug a little more and found some spreadsheets put out by the German Federal Statistical Office that showed from 2013 up until 2019, the number of Americans living in Germany was in fact a slight growing trend. But of course in 2020, the world was shut down, and actually ABC News reported that more Americans left Germany than moved into the country, as the overall number of foreigners moving to Germany hit a 10-year low for that year. This probably had something to do with people being cut off from their friends and family in their home countries, or could have to do with government regulations due to the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic. I don't know. Jurgen Klopp is the coach of Liverpool FC, and he's a German citizen and German, but he was not able to go back for his mom's funeral because of the pandemic, and that was, I know, disappointing. Probably had to be disappointing for him, but again, that's not an overwhelming amount of people. Like I said, there are Germans who are coming to. I mean, probably the most famous German import that I can think of off the top of my head that's moved to the United States, that lives in the United States, is Jurgen Klinsmann.
Not allowing the same freedom of movement between nations. So to answer the question of are Americans really moving to Germany at a rapid rate, well, I guess the definition of rapid would have to be argued over, but with the exception being 2020 and taking into consideration the global pandemic, yes, there is in fact a rising number of Americans moving to Germany every year. I personally wouldn't describe the trend as rapid, but it definitely is growing. But like I asked in my second question, what are they moving here for? Are they actually immigrating, or are they here short term? Or maybe are they like us and they have no idea what they are doing and they are just living in the moment? So before I get to what I found, I will add this caveat. I only looked at how many Americans were actually moving to Germany permanently based on how many became citizens every year. However, this may not actually even be a great data point to look at for a couple of reasons, and those reasons may actually be in the process of changing very soon anyways. Really, the main two reasons why I'm looking at the number of Americans who are becoming German citizens to help determine how many are moving to Germany permanently isn't a great idea are, one, that for right now, Germany is a country that does not allow dual citizenship except in very specific exceptions.
And just real quick, dual citizenship means you're a citizen of both of two countries. Like you hold a passport for the United States and Germany, and if you don't allow dual citizenship, then you can only be either one or the other.
To this rule. Therefore, in most cases, if an American were to meet the criteria to become a German citizen, they would actually have to renounce their American citizenship in order to be allowed to gain that German.
Now, here's the other thing about what you need to keep in mind. If you're living abroad in Germany, like he is, assuming he's still an American citizen, okay, he still has to pay taxes for the United States. Some countries don't make you do that, but the United States does. So he's still got to be paying. He's paying. Not only is he paying German taxes, whatever that is, he's also paying taxes for the United States as well.
German citizenship. As I'm sure you can understand, this makes making that jump less enticing if all of your family, friends, and possibly identity still resides in the US. Reason number two, the United States actually has the world's highest fees to renounce citizenship in order to discourage Americans from wanting to leave their passport behind.
Now, I didn't know about that. I didn't know you had to pay to renounce United States citizenship. Now, it depends on who you are. If you're a billionaire and you don't want to pay the U.S. taxes because the Democrats are in charge, and that's not me getting political, I'm just throwing that out there, then I didn't know you had to pay for it. But there are people that I know that have done that. Not that I know personally, but there are people that have done that.
Just as a comparison, to give up American citizenship costs $2,350, but for a German getting up their citizenship, the fee is $0. So
yeah, it should be. You shouldn't have to pay to renounce your citizenship. I think that's terrible. That doesn't make any sense.
Besides the emotional decision it would be to give up American citizenship for German, there also can be a large financial strain put on someone who may have difficulty affording it. So all this to say, many Americans may actually stay in Germany perpetually without ever trying to get German citizenship. But let's say that an American is completely devoted to moving and committing their life to Germany. What would be some of the perks? Well, I guess that there are a large number of reasons someone might make that decision. Like, one could be the strength of the German passport, because Germany actually ties for the second most powerful passport in the world, above the USA, which is sitting tight at number 6. There also is the fact that with Germany being a member of the EU, if you get German citizenship, you are allowed to move freely and live in any other EU member state, nearly as if you were a citizen there as well. But with all that being said, here is the data of Americans becoming German citizens from 2000 until 2020. You can clearly clearly see that it is in fact a growing trend, even with the difficult hurdles both countries put in place. In 2000, only 165 Americans received German citizenship, whereas in 2020, 935 became citizens. However,
And there's probably a lot of reasons why you would become a German citizen if you move there. Okay, I don't think I'd just up and go there and say, hey, I want to be a German citizen now. No, it's probably you up and move there, and you love it there. You probably start a family there. Maybe your entire family moves there, and and this is where you want to be. This is what you associate with. And so I don't have any problem with it, or I can certainly understand why somebody would do that. Just like I can understand why somebody would want to come to the United States. There's a lot of people coming to the United States from other countries that are becoming American citizens. It happens all the time, and yeah, it's a personal decision.
like I briefly mentioned, Germany is in a place where all things could soon be changing. The new and current German government has proposed plans to not only reduce the requirements to become German citizens, but more importantly to Americans, allow dual citizenship. If this actually goes into place as new law, we could see a large jump in the number of Americans wanting German citizenship so that Europe opens up to them more and they wouldn't have to renounce their own citizenship.
And a lot of this comes to people who move to Germany, want to move to Europe, want to move around Europe. I mean, there are benefits to it, but if you're someone like me who has a life and roots in the United States, I'd love to visit Europe. Okay, but I don't want to live there. I love to visit, but I don't want to live there.
So now for the biggest question of the three. Why are Americans moving to Germany? Well, as two members of this population, I can briefly give our own personal story and insight into this American and Germany community. So our condensed story. When I was in college, I was required to complete a study abroad program, and I had the choices of Spain, Italy, or Germany. I chose Germany really based on three reasons. One, it was the only program of the three that the students live with a host family, whereas the others lived in university dorms, and I wanted that fully immersive cultural experience. Two, I am a huge history buff, and specifically World War II history in
yeah, I don't know if you walk up to many Germans if you're a World War II history buff and say, so tell me, do you know anybody who was alive when the Nazis were in charge? What was it like under Nazi rule? Okay, okay, that probably rules Spain out because Spain was neutral during the World War II. But oh my God.
in the European theater. It had been a dream of mine to go to Germany and experience where so much of the history I had learned had happened firsthand. And three, it was the only program that took place during the summer, and the other two would have been the entire first half of my senior year at university, and I didn't want to miss any of my last year on campus.
Well, there you go.
But I loved my experience in Germany, and I hated the idea that this kind of experience would be limited to a required college program if I followed the
There's Donnie circa 2014 next to the Brandenburg Gate.
Typical American progression of life. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just for me, I had been bitten by the travel bug, I guess you could say. So I had a dream of living abroad once again and fully immersing myself in another culture and being able to travel to lots of new countries. Then
really, if I decided to go to another country like he did, if I decided to live in another country, I would probably pick Germany too. Again, my experience, although brief, was very, very positive with the German people and the German country. It was absolutely fabulous and fantastic. And I can't wait to go back there again.
And when Aubrey and I got married, she was completely on board as she grew up traveling quite a bit, so we made it our mission to find a way abroad. Before we actually found a way to get a visa in a foreign country, we decided to sell most of our belongings and travel for a year. Actually, this is when we started our YouTube channel and we joined a massive niche of couples like us who thought that we were unique in selling all of our belongings, quitting our jobs and traveling the world before realizing that we live in the age of digital nomads and everybody putting their lives on YouTube. After that year, we decided to move to Germany and we kept our YouTube channel, which pushed us into a different, already rather saturated niche that we didn't even know existed, and that is of Americans living in Germany. And some Canadians too. The basic reasons that we settled on Germany once again were that Germany felt somewhat familiar and I had a connection to it because of my experience in college. Aubrey was able to find a job in Germany in her career field of speech and language pathology, and we loved how central it was in Europe so that we could easily travel across this side of the globe.
Yeah, that's one of the other good things about Germany is that it's in the central. It's centrally located. You have France and across the pond, across the channel to England on the west. And on the east, you've got Poland and Czech Republic, and well, you're not going to go to Ukraine anytime soon. But and then to the north is the Scandinavian countries.
Now, again,
And to the south is Austria and Switzerland
that is just our story, but
and Italy. I guess you throw that in.
what about all the other Americans in Germany? In the same article I referenced from the culture trip before, they said while no particular reason for this surge has officially been pegged down, a popular theory is that more and more Americans are experiencing disillusionment over the new presidential rule in the USA.
Now that probably based on when that is done is talking about Donald Trump when he was president, which he's not president right now. Right now, I mean, look, I could give you my opinions of what I thought about Donald Trump, and I gave you my opinions of what I think about Joe Biden, who's the president right now. In my opinion, if I were to, the last decent president, in my opinion, that we've had in this country was George Bush, 1988 to 1992. We have not had a good president since then. I don't rate Bill Clinton very highly. I don't rate George W. Bush very highly. I do not rate Barack Obama highly. I think Donald Trump is underrated to some extent, but again, he doesn't know when to shut up. And Joe Biden is a train wreck.
Now, we have to remember that this article was written in 2017, and maybe that was a reason for people to be leaving the US at that time, according to them, but that doesn't explain why they would choose Germany as their destination.
Agreed.
Now, later in the same article, they did give a few possible reasons that Americans were choosing Germany specifically, like the cost of higher education in Germany compared to the US, how strong the economy is in Germany, and yet how they still need a lot of skilled workers, Germany's top-class healthcare facilities compared to the cost in the US, and the ease at which Americans can enter Germany. However, this article is...
I'll tell you another thing why I might choose Germany is a lot of the Germans speak English. Okay, a lot of people in Germany do understand the English language, and that's a big thing. Because look, you're going to have to learn Germany at some point. You're going to have, if you move there, you're going to have to learn how to speak the German language, in my opinion. Okay, and I believe he is. But one of the things that I also would say to that is the fact that a lot of the people that I ran to spoke English, made it very easy to get around. I don't think you have that very much in France or Spain. I could be wrong, but the fact that a lot of the Germans speak English is a very, very positive thing.
Is talking specifically about Americans who chose on their own to move to Germany and did so. But there also is a massive block of Americans that we cannot ignore because they make up a huge chunk of the American and Germany population, and that is the American military. Honestly, we knew the American military had a presence in Germany, but we never really realized how large this community is in Germany until we moved here. From 2000.
And that's another thing that you know, you see a lot of German American kids who were born between German and American parents, and even though the parents are not together anymore, or maybe never really were together, you have some Germans like John Brooks, off the top of my head, who decided to play for the United States national team instead of the German national team. Now, whether John Brooks was good enough to play for the German national team, well, right now, I don't know anybody. I mean, you know, the German national team has gone out of, they've won 4 World Cups, but since 2014, since 2018, 2022, they've gone out of the first round of each subsequent World Cup.
2006 to 2018, the number of American military members in Germany actually halved from roughly 72,400 to 33,250. Today, there is in the neighborhood of 35,000 American troops stationed in Germany. However, what that figure doesn't include are the number of Americans that those 35,000 bring with them, like spouses, children, or other possible dependents. Beyond that, there are also in the neighborhood of 15,000 civilian U.S. Department of Defense employees in Germany, and they also have families that they have brought with them. In fact, in and around the city of Kaiserslautern, where you can find the most overwhelmingly large...
Yeah, I've been to Kaiserslautern. They call it K-Town in the United States, and Yeah, there's a big American contingent there.
Large American communities in Germany, over 53,000 Americans live and work to support the largest American airbase outside of the U.S. in terms of personnel. Really, if you look at the YouTube channels of Americans living in Germany, you get a pretty good cross-section, an idea of why they are here. There are a lot of university students. There are those that move to Germany because of relationships or marriages. Others are just seeking a cultural experience and adventure. Some 40 million Americans in the US have German heritage, and maybe a few wanted to move to Germany to connect with their family history, and some are definitely politically motivated. Some just went where the jobs are, and some just come so they can post shirtless videos of them working out. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is, do you still watch Die Sendung mit der Maus as an adult? Thanks so much for watching.
I have no idea what the heck he's talking about there, but fair enough. This is Passport 2. Please click like, share, and subscribe for them. And please click like, share, and subscribe for me. This was interesting. Why are so many Americans suddenly moving to Germany right now? Don't know if that's true, but fair enough. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.